Hey, good morning, everybody. We are here at WX Live Webinars, number 11A with Victoria. Sorry we're starting earlier today, but I was too excited to wait and Victoria wanted to start early. So here we go. Remember, tomorrow we have 11B and check the website for the time. Thank you. It's all yours, Victoria.
Okay, thank you, Arno. Good morning and good afternoon to everybody. Well, this is my session, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the IDE of the three tools, because maybe you remember that the first time that I made the presentation, I really excited about telling you why I'm happy working with this tool. And so I thought it was a good idea to talk about the environment, to talk about the IDE, and to show to everybody all the nice features that are included in these wonderful tools. I have to say that the features that I'm going to show today and also tomorrow are the features that I normally use in on a daily basis when I work, and those things are the things that make me really happy and make my experience as a developer really exciting and make my life easier. So I have prepared a presentation with some topics that I would like to go through, and I will start with the IDE, of course. The IDE is completely configurable. That means the WinDev and WebDev. I think I will say WinDev in general, but when I say WinDev, of course, I will be referring to the three tools, because as I said before, the IDE is very similar. Uh, Today I will show you the WebDev and the WinDev IDE, but I will just say WinDev in general. So WinDev allows us to set up completely the whole environment. We can use the simplified environment, or we can use the full environment, or we can keep the configuration of a previous version of the product. For example, I'm going to switch now. For example, this is the configuration that I have been using since version 11. So every time I install a new version of the product, and normally it's every year or every 18 months or something like that, I like to keep the environment from the previous version. So this is basically the configuration that I have been using from version 11, and this is the configuration that I use since then, because I really feel comfortable working in this way. So probably other people that is who are actually working with WinDev or WebDev, they probably have a different configuration. That's one of the nicest things about this IDE, that you can set up completely the environment, and you can actually even save that setup if you want. So let me show you the environment. In here on the top, we have the toolbars and menus. For example, in my configuration, I have this toolbar here, the main toolbar, and I have where I have actually all the different controls, which I can just select and drag and drop into my pages or the windows that I'm working on. And this toolbar is, for example, for the source code management. And this one here is the toolbar for the alignment. So if you want, you can click and you can see here all the toolbars that are actually available. So you can add them or you can hide them, whatever you want. You can also customize these toolbars. Go to the alignment, and if I want, I can change the order of the buttons in the toolbar. There are all the toolbars that we can. So as you can see, I only have this one because this one are the one that I used the most. So then we have in the main part here.
Victoria?
Yes.
When you configure these things and you go from version to version, does it keep that configuration of the buttons?
Yes, yes, exactly. That's what I mean before. Every time you install a new version, the installation asks you if you want the simplified version, which has a few options. Want the complete version, or if you want to keep the previous version, the version for the setup or the configuration from the previous version. And basically, this setup or this configuration is the one that I've been using from version 11. Because when I start working with WebDev, I set up my configuration like this, and then when I install the version 12, the setup asked me if I wanted to keep my configuration or I wanted to change it, or I wanted to use the simplified version or the complete version with all the functions. And if you try to use the full version, then you will have your window completely crowded with a lot of toolbars and commands and menus and panes and a lot of things. So for me, this is the one that is the best. This is the one that I have been using from the beginning.
Okay, so basically you have four of them, right? The standard one, the controls one, the third one I don't know what it is, and the fourth one is the alignment, right?
I'm not sure what you mean. You have the simplified environment, you have the full environment, or you can keep the configuration from the previous version and just decide which, for example, which toolbars you can see here, which panes you want to see here on the right. Actually, this pane that you can see here now, this is the Project Explorer, for example, and I have also the analysis, and I have the code bricks, the dictionary, and the site directory.
Okay,
But
cool.
I have it, but as you can see, I have it on the right. But I know there's some other users that are using this on the left. So if you want, you can also move this pane to the left or on the top, or you can put it also below.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, I think that. So regarding the toolbars and the commands on the top, this one, you can add more toolbars if you want, as you can see here. Or you can even customize the toolbars by moving, for example, the order of the buttons. Right?
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And the same with this paint that I have here on the right. If I just click here and add more, or I can hide them here actually. All the list of the paints. And I only have, as you can see, there are many, and I only have just a few, the one I use every day normally. But here in the backup of environment, you can save, for example, this configuration with a name, and you can use this configuration. I think this could be useful if there are more than one people, more than one user using the WinDev, for example, from the same computer. So normally, let's say that you are used to have the Project Explorer on the right, as I have it now, and maybe you wanted to use the Project Explorer on the left because it's better for you, or because it seems like Clarion, for example. So then we can save two configurations, one with my name and another one with your name, and then we can switch between those configurations, and then you are not going to ruin my setup, and I'm not going to ruin your setup.
Victoria, Another thing I heard was that you can set up the configuration to see on two monitors versus one monitor. So if I'm on my notebook versus my desktop, when I'm traveling, I could switch to the other one, right? So
Yeah.
which leads to my question: if I had to back up this configuration and share it with other people, like some people say, I like the way you do it. Can you share that configuration? Is there a file? Do you
Mm,
know?
I'm not sure, but I can see here you have you can back up the environment.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you can.
okay.
I know we can save this, but I'm not sure if there is some uh, how to call it some kind of file that you can exchange with some.
Yeah.
Probably there is, but
Yeah, maybe somebody can find out because that would be kind of cool. Because if you do a really nice one, I go, wow, I want mine to be exactly like that. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Yes. It might be possible. Maybe I can take a look and tell you maybe tomorrow, or
Yeah.
maybe someone knows how to do it.
Okay.
Um, so uh, so we have, as you can see, I have some paints on the right, and then I have some other paints here below the workspace, the working space. This area here in the middle is a working space, and this is actually where you have your pages or your windows, the windows that you are working on, the windows open and the pages open and the code, the analysis. I mean, all the elements that belong to the project that you are working on currently, they are open here in this working space here in the middle.
Yeah, this weekend we learned about Control W, which will make that part big and hide the rest of it. And Control
Mm-hmm.
W will bring it back,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So here below, as you can see, I have some other paint codes, for example, to see the local procedures that belong to each page. We have a pane where we can find and replace task task list. I have the list of compilation errors. We can also have access to the examples included in the product, the components, and some predefined controls. And Project Monitor Center and messaging, and the one that I use normally. Here we have the list of all the elements that we have open or that I have open, like pages and the analysis. So this is basically the basic. Those are the elements of the project of the IDE. Sorry. So the main concept in WinDev and the WebDev is a project, and the project is like the concept of an application, an app in Clarion, but it is actually more complex because we have more elements included in the project. Inside the project, we can have windows, we can have page, global procedures, classes, queries, templates, documents, and so on. Those elements are the ones that we can see here in the project explorer. This we have here. The concept of project is really big and really extend. So one interesting thing is that in the project, in each project, in the description of the project, you can define, for example, number of language that we want to include. In version 16, we can include up to 64 languages. more than enough for any. So the interesting thing about this project language is that we can define the linguistic options for the numeric variables or the numeric elements. We can define the time and the date for each language. Linguistic options will be like the pictures in Clarion. So that means that we can define, for example, which decimal separator we want to use in the number, which thousand separator. And we can also define, for example, for each language, the name of the month and the name of the date of the week. That's make the translation and the really easy to handle. You have to change it every time that we use a control, because by default the control we have the pictures that we have defined here in the project. So for example, I have my project in English and Danish, and I have the name of the days and the month also in Danish. I think this is really cool, really nice. At least for us, because we used to develop the applications in at least in English, in Danish, and also Norwegian, Swedish, and also sometimes Spanish. So that life more easy.
Yeah, I'm waiting to do that. That sounds really good.
Yeah, in the project we can also define the style of all the applications. So I will go back to the project description. As you can see, we have many options here. We can go through them later or tomorrow, but I think the most interesting is the language settings and the style. Here we can define the style of all the application that in template to define the layout of the entire application. So every time that we create a new window or a new page in a project, this window and this page will have the same layout without making any effort. So we don't have to change or set the layout of each page or window individually, because we done it here at the project level. And in version 14, they included in the product the palette, so we can choose palette of colors. There are some palette of colors predefined, but we can create our own palette if we want. Also really interesting. This is in WebDev, and it's with different look and feel, like iPhone.
Victoria?
Yeah.
So these styles are can help you with your form factors too, huh? Like the sizes, or is it just for,
The
or just
styles,
is it just a skinning part of it?
yeah, exactly. The styles are related with the skin part. It defines the colors, the style, the palette, how the buttons are gonna look, how the controls, which will be the color of the background of the window, the buttons, for example, for minimize or maximize and close the windows and stuff like that. regarding the size of the window, for example, that is something that you can also define at level project, which will be the size I think for all your windows. Have many things open and so continue with the features. Talk a little bit about the editor, which
Hey,
just let,
Victoria.
let me kill my window because I think
It's still holding the
yeah
the pop-up menu.
yeah normally doesn't happen, but
Only during a webinar, so we know that.
yeah, you know the Murphy's law.
Yep.
Yeah, do you want to make any question?
Andy Stapleton said that he says there is a configure. Andy, can you come on and say what you got written here?
Sure. I was looking in the files, in the app data files for information, and there is a configure, and I might have to look for it again. But anyway, let me open the chat and I can say it.
You say configure Ubuntu
Well,
environment.
yeah, well, that's
Your
what the name of the file is, and the underscore is your name. Okay. So there's a configure volet env underscore, and then whatever your name is .ini. Now that looked to me like it had all of the positionings and stuff like that, all of the XY coordinates and stuff for your environment. I am willing to bet that Pete and I, because of the stuff he's done with the Windows, I'm willing to bet that probably uh, that it's being stored in the registry.
ah.
We'll do some further research on that, and if we can
Yeah.
find all the right stuff, then you never know, we can make a WinDev application to actually pull it out and put it back in somewhere else.
Ben Dell basically
Yeah,
says.
that's a
Okay.
different deal. That's a different
Okay.
issue. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Back to you, Victoria.
Yes, thank you. Well, I was saying before I would like to show you a little bit about the editor because I think it has a really interesting. Uh, so let's say that I want to see the code of my page. Fortunately, in WinDev we have this wonderful collapse and expand code.
Code folding, right?
Yeah, exactly, which makes our reading of our code um, really really easy. Fortunately, we don't have in Clarion.
They do in Clarion 8.
Okay, not in Clarion 6.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, and Mauricio said not in all the contracts. Well, I don't know because I have never seen Clarion 8, so I have no idea. Yeah, the fact is that you can have this collapse in if, for example, in the while and cases and for and all that kind of the conditional statement, also for the declaration of global variables and constant and the lines, for example, with comments, the name of the procedures. Another thing that maybe in the beginning may sound not so interesting is that we can actually code in English or in French. Probably you wonder why I want to translate the code from French to English or to English from French. And this is useful because if you have an example that was written in French code, and you want to figure it out, the code in English, the only thing you have to do is go here and say translate into English. And then all the code of your procedure or all the code of your project could be translated automatically from French to English. And that was useful for me because in the beginning I used to get some examples that were written in French, some examples that were not included actually in the English version. So I had some friend and he sent me those examples, but it was a little bit difficult to dig into the code because it was in French, of course.
Oh, what a good
So
idea. What a good
yeah, so
idea.
I just found this option and it was in it, and then I translate all the code of the project into English, and then I to dig into the example. So we can also see the history of the code modifications, which more interesting. For example, I have this project in. I want to show you. Go here to code. You can see for only for this procedure, we can see I create this procedure. We can see how it was evolving, how it was changing my code. So if, for example, I think that I may lost some code, or maybe I have done some changes that I shouldn't, or someone was also something, and we can go back to the code. We can do it.
When does it save that off, Victoria? Is that like in every save, or it looks like it's happening often?
Yeah, probably because I have been saving this times.
Wow, many times in a minute.
Yeah, probably I write 1 or 2 lines and then I save because I think I'm a little bit how to say I'm a little bit
Cautious.
crazy because in Clarion I have to do that sometimes. I have to go out to the embeds and save the procedure because we don't have this automatic saving in Clarion. So I have this crazy habit to save the code every every 1 or 2 minutes. But that's me. That's
It's probably not a bad idea if you want to keep track of the history.
yeah. But maybe it was too much because as you can see it's. But anyway, this is the idea. We can see, we can actually print this version. We can delete the history want, and we can show the differences between, for example, 2 versions. As you can see, in this one, I didn't have these variables, and then I add this variable. We can compare the current version, the last one, with the previous one, and see in one of them I have 2 variables that I didn't have before.
Pretty neat that it's built in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just trying to show off that you're writing a lot of code real fast.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Yep. That's nice.
Yeah, I think it's these kind of things are really cool, really nice. We can also see the date and the author of the code. If we press F6, for example, in particular in this project, I worked with another developer for a while, for 6 months or something. So he helped me with some of the code. So as you can see my name and the date and the number of the line, and then you can see his name.
Yeah, that's even more important, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So for the development team, I think is even more interesting. It's even more
Very nice.
yeah. And you can another thing really interesting actually is auto oh ouch 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 maybe uh, the autocomplete, the assisted input is also the auto automatic completion is available not only in the code but also for the commands, for the procedures, the variables, the data files, the items that we use in the data files, the windows, the controls, the type of variables. So of course, using this feature, we reduce the risk of errors in the typing, and also save a lot of time because we don't need to remember the exact name of a global variable or a local variable, for example, because it's automatically suggested. So for example, I want to using the source code manager. So let's say I want to type the name of a global variable. So I know that my global variables have the prefix globe, so the only thing I have to do is type globe, and then I have the list of the global variables that I'm using in my project. Then
Yeah,
if I want to,
code hinting really helps, doesn't it?
yeah.
Especially in a new language for us.
Mm-hmm. And the same if we are using a function, for example, read. Then you can actually start the code wizards. Mm. The wizards are used to enter the different parameters of the function. And if you don't know how to do it, then you just have to click here. The wizard is, ask you for all the parameters.
Oh, nice. So you can do that for is that just for the built-in ones, or does that also work for ones that you create with parameters?
Yes, it also works for the one that you create.
Oh,
I think they
I
also
gotta
work.
check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you have the code here, and you can just say. Easy, right?
Easy.
Also, if you have parameters, for example, let's say
I wonder if you, when you have an overload, if you have one that could be either one, which one the wizard picks, the first one, second one, or third overload function.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, a lot of times functions you can overload. In other words, it could be two or three different sets of parameters.
Yeah.
So it is use the
Yeah, in
same
that case, it
name,
will.
but
Yeah,
different.
but in that case, it will propose you which one do you want to use the list.
Yeah.
For example, now I'm using a function to print a report, and then I can use either the wizard or I can select the report from the list. Intelligent enough to know that what I want to print is a report. So it's
Yeah, nice you don't have to remember those. Yeah, that's great.
anyway, you have it here. If you don't remember, you can always drag and drop also. Drag and drop any of the elements that you have here. Same with the name of the queries, classes, procedures. So you are on a page and you want to drag and drop page, and then you will get the
Oh, that's nice.
So another nice things is all code bricks, but I don't. The concept of
So
the
so it looks like you use that. Looks like you use that dashboard pretty good. You went there to go click on something to navigate also besides your toolbars and your panes and your
this
menu.
dashboard, this dashboard that you
Yeah,
mean?
looks like you went. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, actually, I don't use the dashboard. No, it's very rare that I use it. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I do find the dashboard useful if you have a development team. I think it's a in that case is it could be interesting because of, for example, in this project I have. It's not that I
Whoa,
want to
you're
show
winning.
up.
Yeah.
I have
Whoa, she's
like
winning.
13,
You're.
almost 40,000 lines of code, and the other guy just 7,000. So that could be useful sometimes. No, I
Yeah,
actually
get a big.
I don't use it, but I think it have interesting things that I actually we can talk about that probably tomorrow because we don't. Anyway, now I want to talk about the code bricks because these code bricks are basically pieces or section of code that we frequently use. So we have the possibility to save these pieces of code as code bricks, and then we can save them and we can have them here, and we can use it whenever we want. But in this version 16, I only have this one, but in version 14, I have created a lot of code bricks. So the good thing is that I can just drag drop the code brick here into the editor, and I already have the code. The code that I use normally, for example, to execute a query. In this case, it's just a query that I can write.
Boy, I'm glad you didn't put a star there. Okay.
No,
That's a joke.
of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a joke, but
so that's it. And then I don't have to repeat the same code. I have the code already saved, and I can use it wherever I want. Then from this code brick manager, you actually can handle all your code bricks. I can change. I can change the code. The interesting thing is that we can enter actually parameters in this code.
oh, then does it have a wizard to fill that in too?
Exactly. Then when you want to use this code brick, when you just drag and drop the code, then it will pop up a window that will ask you for the parameters actually. So then you will just write the parameters,
Right.
and you will get the code. Just
That's the way it should be done. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I like down below where it has the errors right away. It shows you that in red that you got errors right away.
Exactly. You already have the compilation errors here. So it's mean that every time you are writing some code, the IDE is making some internal compiling. So when it's checking, for example, if you have for example a local variable that you have never used in your code, you will get here some kind of warning. Or for example, in this case, it's just telling me that this variable already exists actually here on the top.
And if you delete that block, it clears that right away, right? I mean, if you clear it in the source, yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
No combination. Easy peasy.
Yep.
Now you can understand why I'm so happy, right?
I hear it in your voice. Yeah.
And another thing regarding the embedded points, I don't know actually how they call it in WinDev. I call it embedded points because that's the concept that we have in Clarion. So I think it's for each kind of control that we have, we just have a few embed points, not hundreds or thousands of embed points like we have, for example, in ABC classes, which for me are a little bit annoying and sometimes confusing, because when you have a list, you have so many ABC classes, and inside of the ABC classes, you have a lot of methods and embed points and priorities and a lot of things that I think you use maybe 5 or 10% of those embedded points, because you always use the same, basically. So here you have just a few. The initialization, for example, of the control, the row selection, play, the row exit, and enough, more than enough for this case. Since I'm in
isn't there more? Isn't there more down below though? You see that gray row below the editor? You can actually bring more of them in.
You can actually,
all of
you can
those.
actually bring more. Yes, for example, if you need to put something in mouse over, you can just click there, and then you will see actually
Unclick
the embed point. Yeah.
Mouse down. Yeah.
But you can also hide them if you don't need them. So have a few.
What you need, right? Just what you need.
What you need, exactly. And in this case, I have two type of embed points. One if it's the yellow one, and the other one is gray, because this is a web application. So you have server side code and you have browser side code. So that's why we have these colors here. Here I have, for example, my code, and I can see all my local procedures. And for example, let's say I'm going here. Inside of this procedure, I'm just calling another procedure. So if I want to go there and see the code, I just have to press F2, and I go to this procedure. Just take a look. And then if I want to go back to the previous one, I just have to press Ctrl F2, and I go back. The F2 key that give you the possibility to move within the different nested procedures that you have in the code editor, and to go back to the previous
So you
element,
just
you
put.
just press.
Wait.
Yes.
So you put your cursor on that function or whatever, and you hit F2, and it goes to it. And when you want to go backwards, what you hit Shift F2,
Control F2.
Control F2 goes backward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
To goes backward. Exactly. And if you're changing the code, I'm writing something here. You can see that this line has like an orange bar in front. That's I have added these new lines, and I haven't saved it yet. So these new lines has this bar in front. That means I haven't saved this line. Save the lines. Do. Just
I wonder if they count. I wonder if they count all your lines of code that you type in and you delete. I'm only kidding. Sorry.
and let me see where we are here. This is something exciting also. The different types that we can use and handle. For example, in WebDev, if we go here to insert control, we can see all the different controls that we have. Version 16, no, I think in version 14 they add this captcha control, so you don't have to use any external thing or just write the code. For example, for the captcha, they already include this new kind of control. The good thing and the exciting thing is in each version of the product they add new controls, but they also kind of extend the functionality or the properties of the old controls. So they're always giving you more properties or more chances.
So worthwhile upgrading every time then, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's depend of what you need in your applications or what do you want to do. For example, in I remember that in the version 11 we need to use a calendar, and we didn't have a calendar in version 11. To be able to use a calendar, you have to build up a component and use that component, or use some JavaScript or some code, and try to incorporate that code into your project. But then after, I think it was version 14, if I'm wrong, they add the calendar control. So we don't need to use it anymore. In actually in the entry they add actually the display of the calendar inside of the control. And that's also was an improvement in version. I don't remember, it was 12 or 14. I think it was 14. So in that case, for us, for example, it was really interesting to upgrade our application from 11 to 14, because it was really easy to add this control. We have a lot of customers screaming about the calendar. They want to have a calendar. They want to have a calendar in the date edit control. And the way to do it in the version 11 was just to add a button, and in that button call an external component. But the calendar was not so easy to use. It was too big. It wasn't so nice. So, well, when we moved to version 14, actually we convert the application. It was really easy just to click, make a click here, and then you have a nice calendar control. So yeah, sometimes I think it really worth to upgrade to the version. So of course the controls, they are not the same in WinDev and WebDev because they are two different platforms, but the basic one are the same. Probably in WinDev you have more.
Do they
You
have pretty good
have
examples of using Victoria? Do
using.
they have pretty good examples of using all these new controls when they come out?
Yes, yes. Normally they, when they add new controls, they add new examples, or they improve the old examples. For
Oh, okay.
example,
Oh, that's
in the
nice.
version, for example, here I was going to show the charts. For example, something that I think is really nice, because the charts, you have a lot of options, but and you also have um, a lot of possibilities, and the quality of the charts actually is really professional, and it's really nice. And for example, the version, the version 16, they add this kind of chart called bubble, and basically this is the same example that you have in the previous version, but in version 16 what they have done is they just add this new chart. So there you have an example of how to use or how to implement a bubble chart if you want. So what I mean is, I don't know if that was your question. They normally add new examples with the new functionalities and the new things they have in each version, and they also improve the old examples, like this one. So I think they have a. I think you can, if you want to learn. I mean, you have to go through the examples, and you have to investigate. You have to take a look, and you have to see how they do it, how the things work. I think that's one of the best way to learn basically that's what I have done in the past.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Yeah. A lot of
and then
controls.
I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about the WLanguage. The WLanguage is a 5GL language, and with that it's called WLanguage. It's a rich language, and in each version, of course, they also add new functions and new commands. So the language is even
Victoria?
For me
Victoria?
personally, I think
Victoria, can you
yeah, yeah.
Victoria? Can you repeat that because
Yes,
you went away for a second
yes.
when you started talking about WLanguage? Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Yeah, what I was saying is the 5GL language in WinDev is called WLanguage. It is a rich language. For example, in version 16, they include 2,700 functions. In each version, of course, they add new functions, new commands. They support a lot of kind of and in my opinion, it's a powerful language and it's simple. It's simple to learn and simple to use at the same time. Compared with Clarion, since I have moved some of our code written in Clarion, I can say that you write actually less code, and that's of course my experience. I have found these two videos on YouTube where they talk about the WLanguage, and if you are interested, you can take a look to these two videos, and they are in English, of course. So I said the WLanguage is it's it's complete, it's rich because include a wide variety of functions for multiple purpose actually. The good thing is we don't need to get any extra tool or extra templates like in Clarion if we need to provide our project with some extra functionality or to extend the functionality or, for example, to mash up functionality to give you an idea, for example, in the standard features of the WLanguage, they have functions to handle, for example, the sensors for managing the recycle bin, to managing the certificates, the activation queues, the keys, to work with queues, stacks, to work manage services, to control or check the spelling, to manage the schedule. Have functions, for example, for managing the events, mathematical functions, USB functions, shared memory and so on functions. A lot of functions to handle the character strings, functions for managing the dates and times, function for managing the errors, the executables, external files, financial functions. I don't know, functions for managing the fonts, create new fonts, colors, memory zones, clipboards, the registry, the network, the mouse. You have statistical functions, system functions, function for managing the writes, the threads, to end functions, control functions, functions for make tests, for example, to work with the object-oriented programming, functions for have a dialogue with the user, calendar functions, and and so on. You also have drawing functions, list functions, MDI functions, multimedia functions, video functions, XML functions, drag and drop, communication functions, .NET functions, functions for managing ports, sockets, email, and whatever you want, whatever you want to do with the WLanguage. Well, I think I have 3 and 4, 5 um, uh, I think we can continue tomorrow with talking about the analysis, how to make the test, the RAD, the queries, how to copy and paste control, for example. How to define the default styles. I can show you the charts, how the table controls and how cool they are, all the nice features they. And well, I think there is a lot of things we can still.
A lot of smiley face stuff.
Yeah. But if you have any question about what we showed today, you can ask the question now.
Yeah, they can ask now, or they can type it in the WinDev Skype.
Yes.
So anybody have questions? Go ahead and type in the WinDev Skype, please. Now, I put those links in that you showed.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions, anybody? Or we'll meet again tomorrow morning. What time are we meeting tomorrow morning?
I think we can do it at the yeah, we can do it at 7. I think
7 or 7:30.
No, tomorrow we can do it, yeah, earlier. I think 7 is fine for me. That's
7? Okay.
4 p.m.
So maybe
here.
we can. Okay, so tomorrow on. Oh, that's a wrong day. Oh, I put Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, so tomorrow, Friday, February. Yeah. Ay. Okay, so I'll set it up at 7 a.m. and we'll go as long as you want till 8:30 even if you want to. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't have to rush through. Okay?
No
So
no
thank you
problem.
everybody. Unless you have any questions. Chris, do you have Chris has a question here. Have you done or can you do something to highlight the dashboard functions? The language is so darn rich.
The dashboard.
Dashboard.
You want to see the dashboard, it means?
Yeah, I like where you have the line of code. That is great.
Yeah, basically the dashboard is just to show the global and synthetic view of the status of your project. And you can show, for example, you can see actually the number of critical bugs and follow the bugs. For example, here you can see how many tasks or requests or you can see.
They keep track of your orphans too.
Yes, that's something that I will show you tomorrow.
Okay.
You can see the most often used projects elements, the source code, and some kind of percentage of comments that you have versus the code that you write. You can see I used to write a lot of comments in my code. Percent of comments. It also includes several lights here. These lights, they provide you a global view of different indicators. And the lights switch normally from green to red. And red means that in this section you have to pay attention or have to take a look. Of course, you can actually set up. I think when the light should be red, according to the number of, for example, of incidents. Up all the things here. You have some measures. quality of your project. This dashboard also have two modes, actually, the project manager mode and the developer mode, so you can change it.
Looks like the dashboard for 14 looks different than 16.
Probably.
Looks like they
Yeah,
changed the
probably
dashboard every version. Yeah.
Yeah, they normally add new things, new stuff. Also, you can change the skin of the dashboard if you want. But I think the basic options
Yeah.
are the same. Well, you have, for example, this here.
You know,
In version 14, I think you have it here. So I don't use it actually, to be honest, but I think it for the development team, have a project manager,
for the manager, yeah.
Yeah, someone in charge of the project, and he wants to keep an eye on some indicators for some reasons, then the good thing is you can also integrate to this one some control centers, and you can have some kind of issue management system integrated with the IDE and integrated with the dashboard. So you can see here, for example, the number of requests from your customers, issues, errors, and bugs, and things you have to fix, tasks, and so on. I don't use it here because we already have another issue
system. You know, these guys remind me, PC Soft remind me of a car dealer. You know, every year they have to have a new model, and the dashboard has to look better, and
yeah,
you know, more
yeah.
features, which is good for us as consumers. So
yeah, the visual things and also the examples, as you can see, they are really outstanding, visually speaking. And but the good thing is the product work. It has a lot of features that it really works, and that not just it's not that they show you something and they just stay in the surface. I mean, with nice things, nice brochures, nice colors, nice presentation. It's not just marketing, which I think is good. They have a good marketing, in fact. I think the product itself is really good.
Andy has his hands up, but also Carlos says, Victoria, there is another tool that nobody talks about yet, and it's called integration of internal windows in the project. Do you have an example to share? I mean, you don't have to do it today, but
Integration
do
of
you know what he's talking about?
Windows
Internal windows?
Yeah, yeah, I think
That's pretty big though. Yeah.
Yeah, the internal windows is also a kind of research like control templates or super controls where you can reuse code. And actually, my projects where I use normally is control templates, which is a group of control. I think I showed
yeah,
that in the previous presentation.
Yeah, and Pete is saying that Andy and he are doing a webinar here soon in their project, and they have a good example of those. So
Okay, that's
they'll,
great.
they'll
That's great.
repeat it then.
I
Yeah.
I don't use I know that the tool provides a lot of functionality, a lot of features, nice features, and as I said before, I probably am using 15 or 20% of those features because I'm using what I need now, and every time I need something new, I just try to investigate, look into the examples, and ask or look into the forums, or just look in the help because I think the help is good. So I would just show you what I think is useful for me and what I think is could be interesting for everybody. I know there are out there a lot of people in some kind of transition. I would say they are leaving or they are thinking about leaving Clarion, for example. They are interested in WinDev and WebDev, but they don't know how powerful it is, how good it is. I also read some comments about people who have seen, for example, the dashboard, and they think the dashboard is stupid, and they think the dashboard looks like a toy or like a video game, and they say they cannot use the IDE or they cannot use the tool because the dashboard is something stupid. I don't care about dashboard actually.
You
Because
can
I know
actually turn it off, right? I mean, you can close
yeah,
it.
exactly. You can turn it off if you want.
Yeah,
Just
show them
up
how
to
you
you.
can close it. Yeah, just
And
go in there and close it.
just let me go. You just can show the, for example, this, and if you don't like it. But I do think it's important when we make this webinar to show how powerful is the tool, also how powerful is the IDE, because that's what you use every day. And the IDE has to be your friend. It has to be something you feel comfortable working with. And as I said before, and as I say today, I feel really comfortable. I think it's really nice, and I just want to show you why. And I think many people out there will find many of these features really powerful, really interesting, and I think it has developers we need to know that, see that working. I mean,
The one thing that I wanted to add to the item here, or to the conversation, is that the one thing that PCSoft does every year, when you were talking about like a newer model coming out every year, is that it looks to me, and looking at the past 3 years, that they are certainly targeting and keeping up as close as they possibly can with the industry out there that is changing so rapidly. If you look at the features that they're coming out with, or they've been out with in the last 2 years, in dealing with the Droid, in dealing with mobile devices, the iPad, in dealing with Windows changes, they're probably, and obviously I have no clue, but it looks to me like they are certainly working very hard, or should be working very hard, on what Windows 8 is going to be coming out with, which means we'll have another rich interface change in order to accomplish things as the next version of Windows shows up. So,
But
as a
it's nice that we
company,
don't have to worry about that, right,
right,
Andy?
you got it. And I mean, bottom line, it looks like the company is really doing an excellent job, in keeping up with industry, and keeping us abreast of being able to do things in the industry. And I think that's probably the biggest kudos I could give the entire group over there, and one thing that we've been lacking for a lot of years.
Having that availability, yeah, that quick. So anyway, we do have more topics coming, and so if you have suggestions, like Chris is saying, version control is getting increasingly important. Yeah, we're gonna probably have one on SCM and stuff like that. But covering the IDE today and continuing tomorrow with Victoria is getting us going. When are you going to give your talk with Pete, Andy? Like 3 weeks or?
I'm not sure of the schedule.
Well,
You just
Mauricio
tell me
is
what to
next
do,
week.
Arnold. That's all you do. You just tell me what to do. That's, you know that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's in about Sunday. Okay. Anyway, we better let everybody go and do their work so they can get on to the WX products fast. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. And Victoria, appreciate it again, and we look forward to tomorrow morning,
yes.
7 a.m.
See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, bye now. Recording is stopped now.